All right. Hello, everyone, for the mods and introduction to the series here. So I'm going to go over some of the mods. I'm not going to go over them. I'm over 157 something mods right now. That's a little bit too much to go over all of them, but I'll go over some of them, mainly the ones for that you need and requirements for Stardew Valley Expanded. But we will go over more of the mods in the configuration, which is the next part of this video. But I'm not going to go over every one. It would just take too long. I would expect an 1.5 to 2 hour long video if I went over every mod. But I'll give you some of the highlights, some of the main ones, and I'll talk about a couple of add-ons. Like we have like a mod called Fashion Sense, lets us do clothing things and stuff like that. So I'll give you a couple of extras on that, stuff like that. But let's go over the main mods. We're going to be playing Stardew Valley Expanded. I'm not going to be doing anything like Ridgeside Valley, East Scarp. This is mainly concentrated on Stardew Valley Expanded. So we have Stardew Valley Expanded, and this document right here will be linked in the description of every video, and it will have every mod I have in it that I'm using in it as well. Do be aware, if you want to try and use these mods, they're not in order. Like, I don't have a library mod requirement thing. They're in there. So if you really want to play with my mod list, make sure you download them all and put them on. The only thing I can say for sure is if you want to just play with Stardew Valley Expanded only, you can use this first sheet. I have 2 sheets. One down here called Expanded and Requirements. The other is my other mod list. Like, the other mod list is not in any order. There's no saying this is a library, you need this for this mod. If you want to play with these mods, you would really need to either research or just download everything in this list if you want to go that way. So let me go over the Expanded and Requirements section so you can go through. So because that's just going to be, you have to have these to play Stardew Valley Expanded. So we have Stardew Valley Expanded, of course, and then you have SMAPI. That's a requirement for every mod, so you don't even have to worry about that. If you're going to play with mods on Stardew Valley, you're going to play with SMAPI because it's the only way to play with mods. Content Patcher, pretty much another base requirement for every mod. Space Core, a lot of mods require. Stardew Valley Expanded requires it. Shop Tile Framework, same thing. SAAT, which is the Audio API and Toolkit, does a lot of audio library stuff, so you need it for various things required by Stardew Valley Expanded. Johnson Assets, a lot of mods use the Johnson Assets, so if you're going to do any modding, you're most likely going to be using that as well. Farm Type Manager, this is an either or. If you're going to play Stardew Valley Expanded, of course, you need this, but it's kind of up to you if you're going to need this, depending on which mods you use that require it. Anything that affects your farm is most likely going to require this. Extra map layers, another library type thing. Expanded preconditioned utilities is another main library type thing for mods. Custom NPC exclusions is also if you're going to use any custom NPCs, you need this mod. And then we have the only two optional mods, the Grandpa's Farm and the Grampleton Fields. Grandpa's Farm is a farm made for Stardew Valley Expanded. They also, on the Stardew Valley Expanded Nexus mod page, have another farm called Immersive Farm 2. It's a kind of an exclusive version of Immersive Farm 2. Don't go and download the Immersive Farm 2 from its own Nexus mod page. That has not been updated in forever and probably no longer works. You will want the Immersive Farm 2 farm from the Stardew Valley Expanded file page if you want to use Immersive Farm 2. I'm going to be using Grandpa's Farm. That's why I have it in here. It's not a requirement. It's optional. You can even play Stardew Valley Expanded on just a base farm if you wish to. You don't have to do any special farms if you want to play it. Grappleted Fields is just an extra field of stuff where you can go and hoe and everything. Over on the east side of the map, I think if I remember correctly where it's supposed to be, it's just a big old expansion area where you can do a lot of farming stuff over there, as far as I remember. And each of them is set up in mod name at the top, the author, and the link to the mod. And this other page is set up the same way. We have the mod name over here, we have the author of the mod here, and link to the mod. Now, the author section is set up in alphabetical order. That's why they're not in any kind of library order or anything like that. They're set up in alphabetical order. It's the easiest way I found to sort it all out and to keep it in a sensible list to get, you know, make sure I have everything. And the author section, it's also going by, if you go to the Nexus mod page, in the information of the mod, there is like created by and uploaded by. This author deal is going by the upload by section of that information. Some of these mods are being uploaded by people who didn't create the mod. They're just maintaining the mod. And the creator has moved on, has either just stopped playing, has stopped modding, or has no longer has an interest in keeping up that particular mod. So yeah. But so there's a couple of things. I guess I'll go through this. I'm not going to go through them all, like I said, but I'll give you some highlights. The giant crops deal is a very nice giant crops mod. It gives you giant crops for pretty much all the farm crops. You can get giant crop parsnip, giant crops garlic, giant crops radishes. I also downloaded a giant melon and cauliflower retextures. That just gives it a kind of same look and feel as the other giant crops from this mod by 6480. I've got iridium recolors. It just recolors all the iridium bars and the tools if you wish, and stuff like that. So they're different colors. We'll go over it in configuration, but I think I chose the ice color preset. It's a very nice blue color that I like. And then I have a bunch of things for a mod called Alternative Textures. It's kind of like a library mod. It allows you to have alternative textures for things if you wish. There's various rugs. There's various other things in the mod. Furniture. I've got like 3 or 4 furniture packs, I think. One's for industrial looks. One's retro. One's like West Elm or something like that, I think it says. We have the Help Wanted mod by Anthodoran. That gives us a bunch of, that changes the quest Help Wanted board. I think I have it set up to like 5 people. 5 quests at a time. I might have set it to 3. I can't remember. But the default is you could have up to 10 different quests. I kind of cut that down. I thought that was a little bit much. So I think I either put it at 3 or 5 or something like that. It also changes what people want a little bit. They have to either like the gift or love the gift for it to show up in the quest board. And then there's custom ore nodes and resource clumps. This would give us clumps in the mines where if you run it, there would be like a diamond clump, which gives you a bunch of diamonds in one node. Same with coal. I think with coal and copper, there's just denser clumps that give you more resources when you get them. And then I've got a backpack upgrade deal for more backpack. Seed information. I guess I can go over this for you. This is a really nice one. I found this one. It's also by Anthodoran. In Pierre's shop, or probably even JoJo's, but I've only seen it at Pierre's shop in the images of the mod. It shows if you hover over a crop, it will show you what you expect to sell this crop for in its crop form, in its preserve jar form, and in its cake form. And it also gives you, if it will give you to the next to the name of it, if it's okay to plant this, That means if it says okay, that means you can plant this and harvest it before the end of the month. It will also tell you if it's not okay. It gives you a different icon and stuff, like it's like a cancel icon or something like that. Or it would also give you information if you use speed grow on this. It will allow you to get it before the end of the month. You have to use speed grow on it. So it's kind of a nice information type thing. I like it. This one, a lot of people are going to say you shouldn't need this, but I want to try this out. It's called self-serve, in that you don't have to have a person at the counter to buy stuff. That's all it is. Say Pierre's off messing around off on the shelves or something. You can just still go up to his counter and purchase stuff like seeds and stuff. I like it, so I'm going to go with it. And let's see, UI Info Suite 2, of course, is in here. We got the fishing overlays. I got a Wear More Rings mod. I have set this to only give me 2 extra rings, so we'll have 4 rings we can wear. So that's about it. You can have like up to 16 rings, I think. I thought that was a little bit much. The default, I think, is set to 8. I just bumped it down to 4, so I can only have 4 rings. And then I have a bunch of fashion sense stuff. This one right here is Mermaid Pendant for the Farmer. It allows you to set an accessory through Fashion Sense that shows it like you have a necklace of a mermaid pendant on. So if you're married, you can say, you can show this to show you're married if you wish to. Kind of thought, I don't know if I would ever use it, but it's kind of cool, so I decided to download it. Skull Caliber Elevator. Path of the Community, I guess I should go over. What this does is it helps your socialization with NPCs, in that if you talk to NPCs, other NPCs around them will gather a little bit of friendship as well, because you're interacting and being nice with people. Same thing with giving gifts and stuff will also raise your friendship with other people when you give a gift to someone and other people see it. I thought it was kind of nice, so we figured to go with that. Time speed. Time speed is set up with it like it was in the last series, in that it should take about a half hour to go through 4 days. In-game days is basically what I'm aiming for. So that would be an episode, basically. Better Artisan Goods and Icons. I've downloaded it, and I've gotten the Vanilla expansion, which covers Gender Island things, and I've got the Stardew Valley expansion, which covers all the Stardew Valley items as well for goods, artisan goods stuff. Winter Grasp, Wind Effects, Train Station. We have Stardew Valley Aquarium we're going to be doing. Stardew Valley Aquarium is kind of like a community center museum type thing for fish. You just go to the aquarium, give them the fish that you catch, and they want one of every fish in the game. And it works with Stardew Valley Expanded, so they'll want the Stardew Valley Expanded fish as well. So we would have to catch 2 fish, basically. One for, well, sometimes more, depending on cooking. We would have to catch a fish to give to the Stardew Valley Aquarium, and maybe a fish to give to the community center as well. JoJo Clearance Bin is back in the mod list. I love this from the last series. Basically, it's a clearance bin in JoJo. It's always off-season item, stuff you can't grow yet until either next season or some other season. Like you could get like red cabbages fully grown already on your first day in Stardew Valley if you wish. Dusty Overhaul SVE. I guess I should go ahead and go over this. Dusty Overhaul is, there is a dog in Stardew Valley. You interact with him in one of Alex's heart events, and his name's Dusty, and this just lets him roam free around Stardew Valley. He's basically community dog, and you can go up and pet him, and there is a couple little cute cutscenes or something with him if you wish. So yeah. Then we got Daisy Nico stuff, because I like that. A lot of stuff related to Automate is in here to make Automate work with other things. I got a panning upgrades, which upgrades the panning system. You know, you pan out in the water, get ores and things. This just upgrades your copper pan. You can upgrade your pan to copper, steel, iridium, stuff like that. Socializing skill. Add a new skill to the deal. Socializing. We'll go over all of it together once we level up the skill, but I can tell you that like each level, individual level 1, 2, 3, 4, not the majors of 5 and 10, will give you less friendship decay is basically what it gives you as you level it up. I got a bunch of animated stuff, so you'll see like the fish jiggle in my inventory, like it's still wiggling around. Same with the mining stuff, the diamonds, the ore, all that stuff will have like some kind of sparkle effect or something to them. Same thing for slime eggs and loot. Various artifacts from the slime legs and loot part. Stardew Valley, Stardew Aquarium, as I was talking about. Kuya's packs for FS stuff, for fashion sense. Hairstyles for fashion sense. I've got an animated hairstyle we'll be using, especially first off, because I like it. So we're going to be using that. I have the tractor mod, but I've also this time downloaded the tractor engine sound, so we'll have sound for a tractor. I had to turn down the volume on that a lot because otherwise it's really annoying, but I think I got it at a good level. If not, let me know. Better Water 2 changes the looks of the water. I got it set to a lot darker color, so it'll match the earthly recolor from Daisy Nico's. I've gone with otters, coops, and barn animals. We have various, we'll go over those as we go over the configuration stuff. And then a lot of various other mods and things in here that we'll go over with. I've got I guess this one last one I could go over with you. I have Eevee cat replacer. It makes an Eevee, it makes the cat, any cat, look like an Eevee. So I'm just going to have that. I did try downloading a deal that's supposed to give you like the Eevee sound when you pet the animal. It's okay. It's not that great. So I decided I would rather have the Eevee meow at me than have that sound play. It was a little bit annoying, and it didn't sound like an Eevee personally to me. So just to let you know. All right. So yeah, that is that. I'll be back in just a second and we'll go over the configuration for things. All right, so we're in the game now. So yeah, this is what's known as mod update menu, and it's supposed to give you a idea of if a mod that you have is out of date. But I do want to say a big disclaimer about this mod. It doesn't take into account if you have, so this wedding pack right here, it doesn't, you can see that it says there's a version 1.1.0 version of the mod available. The problem is that is not the female version, which is what I have. Mine is 1.0.0, which is the female version of the mod. There is a male version of the mod that is 1.1.0. And you're not supposed to download both of them at the same time, I don't think. So it doesn't recognize that I have the newest version of the female pack. It still thinks there's a higher version because the male is a 1.1.0 version. So it's kind of a thing of like that, but some of these are going to need to be updated if I wanted to, which would be probably the swords on the back, maybe the gloves and sleeves, the West Elm furniture, and the Baltic. Might need updated. But it's a very big disclaimer. So, like I said, there's Dusty Overhaul. I've got the color schemes set to Daisy Nico, and the rest of it I have off. I don't have seasonal buildings in town working. I have seasonal buildings for the farm working, but not in the town. So I couldn't find a seasonal buildings for Stardew Valley Expanded part of the town. So I just skipped it. I just said, you know what? I'm just going to skip anything to deal with seasonal stuff on the deal because I just couldn't find a good one. Shard Dust, Fences, and Gates. This is a bunch of different fences. It changes all the fences and gates and stuff in the game to look a little bit different. This is the Iridium Green color I was talking about. Like I said, I chose the ice color. It's a really nice color, and I chose the Sith recolor. I didn't choose the Slime Hutch recolor because I have the L's seasonal buildings for the farm enabled. And that changes the slime hutch anyway to something else. And then this is a big old XY thing. I didn't touch anything in this. We have Aereo Core. This is alternative textures. I don't know why this has random textures when placing. It's default checked on. I just took all of it off. But this is all the alternative texture things you can see. I've got geometric rugs and the more geometric rugs, the Nano's retro style furniture, the West Elm furniture, and the Dust Beauty's industrial furniture. As an example, this Dust Beauty's industrial furniture is no longer maintained. It was created but no longer maintained by Dust Beauty. If you go to the mod list, you'll see it's not said its author is Dust Beauty. It says it's somebody else. It's a new person who's taken over the mod. And then all the animated fish and everything, and SVE animated fish, mining packs, auto animal doors. I have set this up. I'm hoping I've got a good time frame on this. I've set the open time to 9 a.m. and the close time to 8 p.m. The reason why I've set the open time to 9 a.m. is to hopefully give me enough time to do anything I need to in the house before I come out and go to the animals to pet them. And they'll still be in the barn, hopefully, by the time I get around to them. So there's that. Then we have the automate mod, of course, is in here. I have better bee houses. Basically, this just lets you use bee houses inside as well as outside. Better chest. This is why we don't have things like show chest label and things like that on. It's because it's all taken care of by the better chest mod. Chest labels, all that stuff is taken care of by the better chest mods. And there is a lot of things in here. One thing I have changed is I've turned off the carry chest slow. So if I have a chest with items in them that I need to move around, I will be having that on normal speed. I also think I turned off the option for picking up items while you have a chest in your inventory. It will automatically go to the chest. I decided, yeah, I'll just leave that off. Eventually I might turn that on, but right now I don't need that. So better friendship, better crafting is also a really nice one. What it does is it changes the look of the crafting menu. It gives you tabs. So there's a decor tab, there's a storage tab, various other tabs, you know. So yeah, it keeps the crafting menu organized, and you can also change, like I've changed the size of things so they're uniform sizes, so there's not one big old like tub of flowers next to one small fence or something like that. I thought it was an interesting thing, and I like it. Better crafting, a better chest also lets you craft from inventory as well, and it allows you to stack two chests as well. That's why I also don't have a mod like convenient inventory, because this comes with a stack 2 chest option as well. Also, better chest is going to be really what I was looking for last series was a mod that would allow me to filter the chest where it would only allow a single certain item in it before it went. You would have saw that probably towards the end of the series there. I was trying to get it where I could only get like starfruit wine or iridium wine into the shipping bin only, but I couldn't get it to work. So if I had this mod, I could have put a chest before the shipping bin, and the chest would get the starfruit wine. It could only accept the starfruit wine, and then the shipping bin would only accept the starfruit wine. So it's kind of like a filter system, I think. Better friendship, good. Better Junimos, enhances the Junimos a lot. Makes them a lot better. I don't know if we'll ever use the Junimos. We didn't last season. I didn't really see the need for them because of the tractor mod, but we may mess around with them this time. And if I'm going to mess around with them, I'm going to have the better Junimos mod because they're really limited in the base vanilla game. Better ranching, better water. Like I talked about, I set it, like I said, I set it all to dark, so it looks a lot darker. Goes with the earthy recolor. Let's see. The Daisy Nico stuff, I have dynamic reflection, so it'll show our character in water like a reflection. It also works on mirrors, if I'm not mistaken, as well. If we put up a mirror somewhere. Here's L seasonal billings. Basically, what I've taken is the earthy color and then set everything to either a stone or brick type in the deal, except for things like the obelisks. They're all set to new, which I think is like some type of door, some type of little door thing or something. We'll see. I have XP from from monsters on trails on farm. The reason this is here is I'm going to turn this on for our farm. We're going to have monsters start showing up in the evening time while we're doing things. I decided to just go ahead and do that. We're not going to be playing on what is originally the only farm that had monsters at night on them. There is now an option to turn monsters on any farm, and we're going to turn that on. So that's why that's there, so we can get XP from them. I don't know why you shouldn't, but yeah. Fast animations. Everything, all our animations, mounting, dismounting, milking, harvesting, all that stuff goes faster. Everything in here is set to either default, or if there is a suggestion like this one, the default was 1, but the suggestion is ×2. I set it to the suggested time, just like it did last season when I had fast animations. Fishing info overlays. Fishing suite made easy. The fishing difficulty is set to 50%. I'm going to have this at 50% until I get the training rod. The training rod should be actually pretty easy to get. It's 25 gold. I think, if they haven't changed it in the Stardew Valley Expanded. So we should be able to get it early. And if we can get it early enough, I'll bump this down to 35% and hopefully go from there. If it's not too bad. I tested out like a bunch of characters before I made this video, and 35% with just the base rod and starting out at level 0 or 1 of fishing, it was just not fun for me. So I bumped it up to 50% in case we start fishing and we can't get the rod at that point. But that's our goal, is to get the rod, the training rod, and then bump this down to 35% and go from there. I do have the ability to recatch the legendary fish, and there will be quests for them. The fish pond is like last season, set up to 50% rare loot chance, and the fish ponds can produce prismatic shards, and we can craft a curiosity lure, and that's about it. Grandpa's farm, there is an ability to remove certain fences. I'll show them to you once we get into the game, but I decided, you know what, I'll try them with them on. If they get into the way too much, if I just can't deal with them, I'll remove them and replace them with my own fences at that point. So yeah, I just left that off right now. Help wanted. I did set the max. Okay, I did set the max quest on this to 3, like I was talking about earlier. They must like the item, and you can allow artisan goods or not. I'm going to actually turn off the artisan goods because we're not going to be there for a while. But maybe later on, once we get to the point where we can have a keg and a preserve jar and things like that, we'll turn that on. And things like that. And then everything else is pretty much at default. You can also, if you wish to, change the what quest shows up more than others in this list if you want to. This is actually the default for this mod, but if I'm to believe the description of this mod, this is also the default for the game itself, the vanilla game, is those settings there. Immersive scarecrows I wanted to talk about. What the immersive scarecrows does is it allows you to set a scarecrow in a field that doesn't take up a spot. It just sets there kind of next to whatever crop you put it next to, if you want to put it in the middle of the field, and it doesn't take up a spot. You can still have a crop there. it's really, I think it's going to be really fun to have that, you know. There's also a thing called immersive sprinklers. I decided to pass on that this time, but it does the exact same things. Sprinklers can be in the middle of the field, and you don't need a spot open to put them in the field. But I decided to pass on the immersive sprinklers this time. Of course, we have look up anything where we can get any information that we want. I have it set up where if we push F1 on a person, unless we have picked up in our inventory or in a chest somewhere, we do not know what the person's like or love gift is how I have it set up. And then the barn animals, I have the brown cow set to Texas Longhorn, the white cow set to a Frisian, the goat is a bilberry type goat, the sheep is actually a blue alpaca, the pig is a Tomworth, and the ostrich is a cassowary. And in the coop animals, the brown chicken is actually a turkey, the white chicken is a dodo. Shout out to our ARK friends here. If you watched our ARK series, I hope you enjoyed it. But we got us a dodo. We also have a blue chicken is dark blue. The void chicken is a red void. The gold chicken is a dark gold. The rabbit is a white lop. The lop just means its ears are loppy. The ears are not standing up. They're like folded down, like they're floppy. They'll flop around and stuff. The duck is actually a pink one, also for our ARK friends there. And then we have a dinosaur as the blue raptor. Let's see. Painting upgrades. Seasonal cute characters have, you know, they're basically the same. But seasonal cute characters are SVE. Seasonal haystacks silo reskin. It changes the silo into a haystack basically, and it can be seasonal as well. Seed info. Pretty much everything in here is set to default. Self-serve default. You can change it where certain shops won't allow you to do it if you wish. Show birthdays. The reason why I have this is, as it says, allows the character to display multiple birthdays. What this means is if, say, one NPC has a birthday on one day and another NPC has a birthday on the same day. In the vanilla game, that's not possible. Every NPC has their own birthday. But with the expanded stuff, you might have a birthday on the same day. So to deal with that, this mod allows you to hover over the day and get a list of names of whose birthday that is in that day. But also it will do a little switch. It will show the first NPC, and then it will do, after a couple of seconds, the next NPC, and then even more if there's more for that day. So yeah, so that way you can see the NPC's birthday that day. Simple cursor allows me to, as you can see my cursor, it's purple iridium color. That's basically what it does, and it also gives it a shadow. Simple tab. If you open up your inventory and look up at the top, you can see there's these tabs for crafting, the map, options, all that stuff, and your skills page and stuff like that. This changes those into different formats. I have mine set to classic, simple, and a shadow. I think it looks nice. It kind of matches with the earthy recolor texture a little bit. Socializing skill is nothing has changed. There's you can change the experience gain, the skill perk modifiers, and the profession modifiers if you want to. I have not changed anything in that at all. Stardew Aquarium. Basically, the only thing is these things for animations on these things. I haven't changed anything in there. Stardew Valley Expanded. I have turned on mature events is what I've done. Basically, I've read the wiki for Stardew Valley Expanded, and what mature events does is it allows it to show darker tones, like people's parents dying, all that stuff. It talks about the little bit of the darker stuff. Without this, you doesn't go into it as much. It implies it, but with this, it really just tells you straight out that something happened, you know. So that's why I have that on, and I haven't really changed anything else, I don't think. So I did, like I said, I did a bunch of testing. The the Jojo Mart, I don't have to disable the SVE Jojo Mart. The Jojo clearance bin works great with the SVE Jojo Mart, so it's no problem there. Time speed, like I said, I've set this all to be the same thing it was in our last series. 1.4 indoors, 0.9 everywhere else, and that's it. Our to-do list is here again. It's going to be great. I'm going to need to make a list, definitely. Like I said, tractor mod, it's basically set up just like before in our last series. It usually starts at a build price of 150,000. I always jump that down to 15,000. I don't know about you, but yeah, there's no tractors in my area that cost over 15,000. And 15,000 pushing it. I've seen some that listed at 10. I will say I've seen some zero turn radius listed at 10, and it's $9,999.99. So it's 10,000 basically with tax and everything. But I've never seen a tractor listed 15,000. Now that's a lawnmower tractor, which is what it shows in the game. If they want to give me a Case or a New Holland or a John Deere like tall tractor, sure, I'll bump up the price. But for what they give, for the model they give, not for, and the thing they give you in game ain't even a zero turn radius looking tractor. So yeah, it just throws me off that I can see such a basic looking tractor and have it be over even 15,000. It just throws me off. So I've turned the distance up from 2 from 1. I set the tractor speed from -2 to +1. This one is be a +1 speed when you're on the tractor. Now, speaking of that, I do need to say there are 2, I guess you could say, cheats I'll be using. I do have the CBJ cheats menu and the CBJ iron spawn menu. The ones I'm going to be using in the CBJ cheats menu is I'm going to bump the speed up to +1. Just to move speed is going to be base +1. I'm always going to have a +1 to base, just like if we drunk a coffee at all times. So with that, if we drink a coffee, we'll get +2 speed. If we're on our tractor, we'll get +2 speed. Just to let you know. And then the other cheat I'm going to have is something I always use. Even if I never talk about it, I will always turn on no fence decay. I don't like fence decay at all. I don't like it at all. So I just always somehow have it where fence do not decay. I just don't like it. So those are the only 2 things that'll be on from the CJB or CBJ feature menu. 1 second. This one. This one. And it will be in here. CJB. Sorry, it is CJB, not CBJ. CJB. Wanted to get that name right because I knew something was wrong. Yeah, I was saying it's something wrong. I've also made it where I have to hold space bar to activate it. I like it better than having to activate it better than having it on all the time, because I don't want to accidentally do something I don't want to do. And then everything else is set to have it do various things for the tools. I have turned the attack stuff on and things like that, just like we had it in last series. UI info suite 2, of course. Like I said, I've got the wear more rings set to 4, so we'll have 4 rings to wear, and wind effects is here as well. And that is our list of mods. So this video is done. So next time we come, we'll see, we'll start up, we'll make our character, we'll do our first 4 days in game. We'll also get our fashion sense set up to start out with, and we'll go from there. So I want to thank you for watching. I hope you will enjoy the Stardew Valley Expanded series. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a nice time, whatever time it is, in y'all's part of the world. Bye.